Hello children, let's come back to our maths class. In the previous class, we have seen about scientific notation. Now, what is the meaning of scientific notation? Scientific notation is a way of representing. If suppose you have a very big number or very small number, scientific notation help us to write down the numbers conveniently in the form of decimal numbers. That is, you can write the number in decimal form and it will be easy for us to read, because if the numbers are very large, it will be, there will be difficulty in reading it, or there may be a confusion, or there may be a chance of skipping some of the numbers. Okay, there may be a chance of making mistake. So what is this scientific notation helping us? Scientific notation help us to write down two large numbers or two small numbers. I'm not talking about very small number. I'm just talking about two small numbers in the decimal form. Okay, children. And already we have started with our exercise 2.8, where we have completed two sums. Yes, the first one for writing the numbers in the scientific notation, and the second one was for writing the numbers in decimal form. So you have seen two ways of writing the numbers. One is in the scientific notation and also one in the form of decimal. Okay, children. So today we are going to continue with the remaining sums. So I would like you to take down your classwork. Take down your classwork, children. Take down your classwork. Write down today's date and day. Are you ready? Okay. Now, take out the third question, children. You're just going to continue with the exercise because it is a continuation of 2.8. Write down question number 3. Represent the following numbers in scientific notation. So, we are going to write down the numbers in the form of decimal. Okay. Write down the first question. It is 3. How many zeros are there? Just see the zeros. It's 3 lakh. Yes, 3 lakh and 20,000. Question number 3. It's exercise 2.8, sum number 3, the first subpart. Three lakh square into 20,000. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000 lakh. 3 lakh square, and this is ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000. 20,000 raised to 4. So you are going to represent these numbers in the form of scientific notation. Very simple. We are just going to use the concept that we have followed in our sum number 1. Okay, children. So let's use the concept and let's find out the answer. You know the question? Whenever you start with a new page, remember to draw a margin and a rough column. Do not forget to draw the margin. You have to present your answers neatly. If you complete a particular sum, you have to draw a line. This is not the thing that we have to go on saying again and again. You have to develop a habit of keeping all these things in your mind. Okay, children, as soon as you complete one sum, draw a line. That shows that you have completed a particular sum. When you start with a new page, draw a margin where you can write your question numbers, yes, and the days, everything. And always you have to draw a rough column, because some children have a habit of doing the rough work at the back of the page or the front of the page or on the top of the page. Okay, so that's not the thing you have to do. You have to always do the rough work in the rough column so that everything looks neat and tidy. Yes, children? So just keep this habit. Okay. Now, the question is 3 lakh square into 20,000 raised to 4, and we have to write down this in the form of scientific notation. So let's see what to do over here. So I'm just going to start with the sum. Before I start the sum, let me give you some examples so that you can refresh what we have seen in the previous class. Let me take a number. I'll take a number of 5, 6, 7, 8, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, 0, 0 something else. Now, here we don't have a decimal point. So I have told you where is the decimal point present. The decimal point is present at the last of the last digit. That is, suppose this is the last digit, means the decimal point is somewhat here at the last. So you are going to bring the decimal point to the left side. So which direction are you going to move? We are going to move to the left side. I told you, when you want to remember a particular direction, just think of a number line. So suppose this is a number line. Always remember the middle one will be the origin. So that is, first of all, we write the origin, that is 0. And to the right side we write the positive number, and to the left side we write the negative number. So when you are traveling to the negative side, you have to say that you are going to move to the left side. And when you go to the positive number, that means you are going to the right side. So just think of a number line and just remember what is the right side and what is the left side. So now the decimal point is at the end over here. Now we have to move to the left side, because I am just going to travel to this side. Okay, children, to the negative side. So let me count the number of shiftings. This is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm just going to place the decimal over here. So I'm just going to shift the decimal point from here to here. There's a shifting of the decimal point. Okay, children, so let's see how many places the decimal point is being shifted. It starts from here. So be careful when you count the number of shiftings. Okay, children, to start from here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so how to write down the answer now? This is 5.678. Do not write the number 0, because there is no need of writing zeros. Okay, children, but if you have any number after 0, that means you have to consider 0. I'll just give you one more example. So now you will be writing 5.678 into 10 raised to 10. Getting my point, children? Clear? Okay, I'll give you one more example. It's 3780005. Okay, we have a number. It's ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh. Okay, so I have taken number 37 lakh 80,005. I have taken number 37 lakh 80,005. Okay, children, now where is the decimal point present? The decimal point is present after 5. So the decimal point is over here. Now I have to shift the decimal point to the left side. Which direction are you going to move? You are going to move the decimal point to the left side. And when you move the decimal point to the left side, you will have a positive power. So remember this thing in your mind. So when you are moving the decimal point to the left side, you have to take the power as positive. And when you move the decimal point from the left to the right. Okay, simple. I'll not confuse you people. Just listen to me carefully. If you are going to shift the decimal to the left side, if you are shifting the decimal to the left side, the power is positive. Left means positive. Okay, if you are shifting the decimal to the right side, if you are shifting the decimal to the right side, the power will be taken as negative. So these are the two important things that you have to remember when you write the power. So when you move to the left, power will be taken as positive. And when you move to the right, the power will be taken as negative. Okay, children. So now here I am going to move to the left side. I am just going to bring the decimal point to the left side. Remember how to find out for left and right. When you come to the negative number, it is left. And when you go for the positive number, it is right. So I am just going to move this direction. That means I am going to move to the left direction. So from here, just see the position. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somewhat here. So this is 3.78. I cannot skip these numbers because I have a number after 0. So the 0 has a value over here. So this will be 3.78005. And how many places we have shift, children? It was 6. Yes, children? From here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 10 raised to 6. Why I am writing here positive power? Because I have shifted the decimal to the left side. So if you are shifting the decimal to the left side, you have to take a positive power. So the answer is 3.780005 into 10 raised to 6. Okay, children, so we are just going to use this concept for solving these sums. And I'll be just giving you an idea for negative powers also. Okay. So for the first sum, we are going to use this concepts. So I hope you people are clear now. Shall we continue, children? Okay, now let's start with the classwork. So this is 3000000. That's 3 lakh. Okay. So now where is the decimal point? The decimal point is somewhat here. Okay. Here means at the last, at the end. So let me shift the decimal point. So I'm just going to shift it. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to shift the decimal point over here. So I'll write down here 3.0. I just cannot write 3. Do not just write 3. Always try to write down a number after decimal point. Okay, so 3.0 into 10 raised to, how many positions it was shifted? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So into 10 raised to 5, put the power here as 2. Very simple thing. I have just written this in the form of scientific notation. So what I get here, the decimal point is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I get 3.0 into 10 raised to 5. The square is kept as it is. Now coming to the second part, this is 20,000. So where is the decimal point present? The decimal point is somewhat here. So let me shift it. So it's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4. So I get 2.0 into 10 raised to 4, the whole raised to 4. I get 3.0 into 10 raised to 5, the whole square, into 2.0 into 10 raised to 4, the whole raised to 4. Are you clear, children? Okay, take down the steps. So what we have done, we have just applied the scientific notation. We have just found the scientific notation for this. Now let us simplify it further. I'll tell you how to do it further. Just stay on the steps. You can just put here equal to sign. Taken on? Okay, now let's start it. So now this is square. Okay, that means this number is going to be written 2 times. 3 into 3. 10 raised to 5 into 10 raised to 5. So you have to apply the square for both the numbers. So 3 into 3, this is 3 square, okay children. So the square is for both the numbers. So 3 into 3, that's 9. I get 3 into 3, that's 9. Coming to 10 raised to 5, the whole square. Children, I just want you to take down this law of indices in the right corner. You would have studied the law of indices. Children, in your 8th standard, you would have studied. Just write down here, a raised to m into a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. Do you remember this law? What is the law? A raised to m into a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. This is the law for addition. A raised to m divided by a raised to n is given as a raised to m minus n. And the second one, a raised to m divided by a raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus n. There are two more laws. It's a raised to m, the whole raised to n is equal to a raised to m into n. A raised to m, the whole raised to n is equal to a raised to m into n, and also you write down the law for a raised to 0. Anything raised to 0 is going to give you 1. A raised to 0 is 1. If any number raised to 0, the answer is 1. Write down the laws. We have to use the laws for solving the sums. Okay, children? So a raised to m into a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. A raised to m divided by a raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus n. A raised to m, the whole raised to n is equal to a raised to m into n, and a raised to 0 is 1. So this is the laws that you have already studied, and again we have an application over here. So we have to use these laws over here. So just write down the laws you in the right corner. Okay, in the right corner you can write down. You can write with a pencil or a pen, no problem. Have you taken on the loss? Now let's write down further here. So now this is 3 square. 3 square. You may ask, ma'am, this is 3.0 square. No need to worry. 3.0 we can consider as 3. And the answer is 3 into 3, 9. This is into, now 10 raised to 5 the whole square. Just see, I am just going to explain over here. 10 raised to 5 the whole square. Now this is of which form? This form. A raised to m the whole raised to n. So a raised to m the whole raised to n. So what is the answer? A raised to m into n. That means you have to multiply both the power. So write the base. What is the base here? The base is 10. What is the power here? 5. That is m is 5. And what is n? It's 2. So you have to multiply m and n. So you get 5 into 2. So what is the answer, children? It's 10 raised to 10. I'll just write down the answers here. It's 10 raised to 10. I hope you are clear with this step. How I get 10 raised to 10? I have to multiply both the powers. So 10 raised to 5 the whole square. That's 10 raised to 10. I get 10 raised to 10. So 9 into 10 raised to 10. So we have done the first part. Let me go for the next one. Now this is 2.0 raised to 4. 2 power 4. That means you are going to write down 2 4 times. Don't write 2 4s. That is wrong. You have to write like this. 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. What is the meaning for 2 raised to 4? 2 raised to 4 means 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. You have to write 2 4 times. So 2 2s are 4. 4 2s are 8. 8 2s are 16. I get here 16. So 2 raised to 4 is 16. Done. So we have taken the power for 2. Now let me complete the next part. 10 raised to 4 the whole raised to 4. Again you have to apply the law. So 10 raised to 4 the whole raised to 4. A raised to m the whole raised to n. A raised to m the whole raised to n. What is the answer? M into n. What is m into n? 4 into 4. What is 4 into 4? 16. I get 10 raised to 16. So what is the answer? The answer is 16 into 10 raised to 16. Just mention here into 10 raised to 16. I hope you people are clear. We are just using the law of indices and yeah, we are finding out the answer. So we have just simplified the second step. Yes, children. So 3.0 into 10 raised to 5 the whole square gives you 9. 3 square is 9. 10 raised to 5 the whole square. That is you have to just multiply. So 5 2s are 10. 2 raised to 4. 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So totally 16. And 10 raised to 4 the whole raised to 4. So remember to apply the law a raised to m the whole raised to n. I have just given you the law, children. So whenever you just do the sum, you can just refer the law so that it can be easy. It will be easy for you to understand the concepts. Okay, children. So a raised to m the whole raised to n is a raised to m into n. So 4 into 4, 16. So what is the answer? 10 raised to 16. Along with the base, you get 10 raised to 16. Okay, I have just done some of the simplification. We have still more steps to go for. Let's do the next step, children. Are you clear till here? Now, I'm just going to multiply these two numbers. Just see here, children. 9 into 16. Let me multiply. Come on, go for the multiplication. Multiply 16 and 9. You have to be quick. 16 into 9. So 9 6 are 54. 9 1s are 9 plus 5. 14. So you get the answer is 144. So when I multiply 9 and 16, I get the answer is 144. Just the number part I have multiplied. Again I have 10 raised to 10 into 10 raised to 16. I have 10 raised to 10 into 10 raised to 16, children. This is of this form. Just see the first law. 10 raised to 10 into 10 raised to 16. A raised to m into a raised to n. A. What is the a here? A is 10. You have the same base A. What is m? M is 10. What is n? N is 16. Applying the first law. A raised to m into a raised to n. So what is the answer? A raised to m plus n. What is a, children? A is 10. M plus n. What is m? 10. What is n? 16. So just add the powers. You get 10 raised to 26. So what is the answer for 10 raised to 10 into 10 raised to 16? It's 10 raised to 10 plus 16. That is 10 raised to 26. I'll just put here into 10 raised to 26 because here all the signs are multiplication. So I get the answer. When I multiply 9 and 16, I get the answer is 144. And when I multiply 10 raised to 10 and 10 raised to 16, I get the answer is 10 raised to 26. Still, we have some more steps. We have not completed our answer. We have few more steps. So I hope you are clear with this step, children. You can just stay down the step in the working part. Just write down here 10 raised to 10 into 10 raised to 16 is equal to 10 raised to 10 plus 16, 10 raised to 26. So just show this working part. You should know how you got the power 10 raised to 26. So it's 144 into 10 raised to 26. So we have applied the law and we got the answer as 144 into 10 raised to 26. Now, just imagine the decimal point for this number. Where is the decimal point? The decimal point is after 4. Yes, children? I have told you that you have to just imagine where is the decimal point. So decimal point is at the end of the number. So you're just going to shift this to the first number, that is after the first number. So the decimal point is over here. You're just going to shift the position 1 and 2. So I get 1.44 into 10 raised to 2 because we are just going to shift the decimal point to the left side. When you're going to move to the left side, you have to take the power positive. So you get 1.44 into 10 raised to 2 and here it is 10 raised to 26. Now I just hope that you can apply the laws directly. Now this is a raised to m into a raised to n. Remember children, you can apply this law if the bases are same. A. This here, it's 10, 10. If the bases are same, I can apply the law. If the bases are different, I cannot apply the law. Okay children? So I get here 1.44 into 10 raised to 28. How I get 28? A raised to m into a raised to n. That is a raised to m plus n. So add m and n. It's 2 plus 26, which is 28. So what is the final answer? The answer is 1.44 into 10 raised to 28. Here children, see, for completing one sum, you have to use so many concepts. So you have to be thorough with each and everything. Are you clear with the sum children? Okay, now let us go for the second sum. Now first question was based on multiplication and they have given you the second subpart as division. So I'll be doing the second subpart and the third subpart is a combination of multiplication and division which will be done by you. Okay, so third sum is your homework. I'll just give the homework over here. Homework is exercise 2.8, question number 3, the third subpart. Exercise 2.8, the third question, the third subpart. Okay, have you marked the homework question, children? Okay, now let's state on the second subpart over here. Another question, what is the question given to you? It's 0.00000. Be careful with the number of zeros. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros of the decimal point. Yes? The second question, 0.00000. It's 1 raised to 11 divided by 0.05 the whole raised to. So we have 0.000001 the whole raised to 11 divided by 0.00. One more zero. Yes children? Be careful when you write the question. Whenever you write the question, children, have a habit of rechecking it so that if we would have missed out any numbers, then we can just correct it. Okay? Always have a habit of checking your question twice. That is the best way of what is that? Doing maths. Because once the question is correct, automatically we are going to go for the correct step. Yes, if the question is wrong, everything will be wrong. So have a habit of rechecking your questions first. So it's 0.0000001. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, yes. And 0.005 the whole ratio. So now this was from, there is a shifting was towards the left. I just don't want to make you more confused over here. The shifting was to the left side. Where was the shifting? The shifting was to the left side. So we use the positive power. Now for this sum, the shifting is to the right side. I'm just going to move the decimal point to the right side. So when I shift the decimal point to the right side, I have to take a negative power. Keep this in your mind. Okay, shall we shift the decimal point? So what do you get here? So I start from this. So I'm just going to shift the decimal to the last number, okay, to the number part. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here 6. I get 1.0 into 10 raised to minus 6. Do not forget to write a negative power because you are going to shift the decimal to the right side. Where is the decimal shifting? The decimal is moving to the right side. Where was the decimal shifting here? The decimal was shifting to the left side. So when it moves to the left side, positive power. When it moves to the right side, negative power. So you get 1.0 into 10 raised to minus 6. This is the answer for this. This is the scientific notation. Write down the power as it is, that is 11. So I get 1.0 into 10 raised to minus 6. Okay, coming to the next one. Keep the division sign as it is. Now, the decimal point is over here. I'm going to shift to the right side. So 1, 2, 3. I get 5.0 into 10 raised to minus 3, the whole cube. What is the scientific notation for 0.005? It is 5.0 into 10 raised to minus 3. Write down the power as it is, that is 3. Clear? I hope you people are clear with the scientific notation. So the decimal point was over here, yes children? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1.0 into 10 raised to minus 6, the whole raised to 11, divided by, it's over here. So 1, 2, 3. 5.0 into 10 raised to minus 3, the whole raised to 3. That is the first step. Okay, now let's do it. Let's do the next step. So now this is 1.0 raised to 11. So 1 raised to 11. 1 into 1 into 1 into 1 into 1. You write down how many number of times 1. The answer is going to be 1. So there is no need to worry about this. So 1 raised to 11 gives you 1. Anything raised to 1 is 1. 1 into 1 into 1 into 1 into 11 times I have to write. The answer is 1. So I get 1.0 raised to 11 as 1. Okay, done. Now 10 raised to minus 6 into 11. Again, this is of the form a raised to m, the whole raised to n. So you have to multiply both the powers. M into n. So minus 6 into 11. What is minus 6 into 11? Minus 66. Do not forget to write the negative sign. Okay, so I get here 1 into 10 raised to minus 6. What is 1.0? It's 1. 10 raised to minus 6 raised to 11. Both the powers. You have two powers. So you have to multiply the powers. You get a raised to m into n. So minus 6 into 11 gives you minus 66. Okay, done. Okay, I'll just put a division sign over here. I'll use a bracket. It is always good. Write the brackets to avoid confusion. Now this is 5 cube. 5 cube. So 5 into 5 into 5. 3 times. 5 into 5 into 5. Do not write 15. Okay, children. 5 into 5 into 5. What is 5 into 5 into 5? 5 5s are 25. 25 5s are 125. You can just go for multiplication. 5 5s are 25. And 25 into 5 gives you 5 is 25, carry over 2, 5 2s are 10, 10 plus 2, 12. You get 125. Okay, so 5 cube is done. I get 125. 10 raised to minus 3 whole cube. 10 raised to minus 3 cube. So it's minus 3 into 3. Minus 3 into 3, minus 9. Yes, so I get here into 10 raised to minus 9. So I get the answer as 1 into 10 raised to minus 66. Yeah, it's minus 66. There is, I get 1 raised to 11 as 1. 10 raised to minus 6 into 11 is minus 66. 5 cube is 125. 10 raised to minus 3 into 3. So minus 3 into 3, minus 9. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to write down this in the form of division because the main sign is division over here. Yes, student? So I'll be writing this as 1 into 10 raised to minus 66 upon 125 into 10 raised to minus 9. Write this as 1 upon 125, okay, into 10 raised to minus 66 upon 10 raised to minus 9. So that's 1 into 10 raised to minus 66, 125 into 10 raised to minus 9. Now, let us leave this part first. Let me find out the answer for 1 upon 125. So I'm just going to do the division. I want you people to do the division also. So it's 125, 1. The denominator part will come outside. Okay, children, remember, do not write the smaller number inside, big out and bigger number in. Don't do that. Always keep the numerator part inside and the denominator will come outside. Denominator will go out. So it's 125, 1. Let's go for the calculation. You don't have 1 in the table of 125. So we have your 0. I get here 1. Not possible. So I just put a decimal point. I'll introduce 1 0. Again, we don't have 10 in the table of 125. So you have to put a 0. Are you getting the point, children? Division is not a new thing to you. You have already learned division in your lower classes. Yes. So just understand the concept. So I started with 1. The 1 is not divisible by 125. So you just put here 0 minus 0. I get the answer 1. Again, 1 is not divisible. So I'll just introduce a decimal point. So once I introduce a decimal point, I can add 0. I get 10, which is not in the table of 125. I put here 0. Again, I put here 0. I get 10. I'll add one more 0 because I have already put a decimal point. So 100 is not divisible by 125. So I'll just add one more 0 over here. I'll put here 0. I'll put the answer as 100 and I'm going to introduce one more 0. So I get 1000. Now I get the answer as 0.008. So when I divide 125, that is 1 divided by 125 is 0.008. The answer is 0.008. I hope you are clear with the division. Shall I explain the division once again? So we started with 125 divided, that is 1 is being divided by 125. 1 is divided by 125. So the number is 1 here which is not divisible by 125. So you have to put the 0. So 0, it's 0 because you don't have. So into you're multiplying by 0, you get here 0 and multiply. When you multiply anything by 0, the answer is 0. So put here 0. 1 minus 0 gives you 1. Okay. Still 1 is not divisible by 125. So what you have to do is, we are introducing here a decimal point. So put a decimal point and you can add 1 0. You get a number 10 which is again not divisible by 125. So I am multiplying by 0. So I get a 0 portion and I get a 0 answer over here. So 10 minus 0 gives you 10. Now again this 10 is not divisible by 125. So I'm just going to add here 0. I'm not going to put a decimal point again because already I have introduced a decimal point. So I get here 100. So again 100 is not divisible by 125. So I just multiply by 0. The answer is 0. So 100 minus 0 gives you 100. I'll add one more 0 here. I get 1000. Now this 1000 is divisible by 125. That is 125 into 8 times gives you 1000. So I get the answer as 0.008. So I have divided 1 by 125. So I get the answer as 0.008. So this is the answer for this part. What is the answer for 1 upon 125? It's 0.008. Now let me go for this. Now this is of the form a raised to m upon a raised to n. We have already written one of the lawyers. What is the value for a raised to m divided by a raised to n? What is the answer for a raised to m divided by a raised to n? It's a raised to, this is in the form of division, yes. So what is the answer for a raised to m divided by a raised to n? It is a raised to m minus n. So you have subtract the powers. You are going to subtract the power. So it is 10. What is m? Minus 66. What is the main sign? Minus. What is the value for n? It is minus 9. Be careful, children. Here is the mistakes occur. There's a mistake. Some people just go on doing every step correctly, and at the last they will make a slight mistake. They will get confused, and they will just change the steps, and everything goes wrong. So be careful. Now this is a raised to m divided by a raised to n. So now it's a raised to m minus n. So what is m? M is minus 66. Be careful. You have to see the sign also. I get 10 raised to minus 66. What is the main sign? It's minus. So don't say already 1 minus n we have written. No. The minus is main sign. M minus n. So minus is minus here. Now what is the value for n? The value for n is minus 9. What is the value for n? It's minus 9. So I get minus 66 minus minus 9. I just want you people to take down the step also, children. Take down the step. So this is equal to 10 raised to minus 66 minus minus. What is minus minus? It's plus. So minus 66 plus 9. So the answer is, just subtract this, minus plus. Minus 66 plus 9. 7. 16 minus 9, it's 7. And 5 is left out. We get answer is 57. Now see here, children, minus plus. Minus plus is minus. Okay, done. Now sign of the bigger number. Which is a bigger number? 66 or 9? Surely 66 is a bigger number. So you have to put the sign of 66. That is, the answer is minus 57. So I get the answer into 10 raised to minus 57. Write down the properly. What is the answer here? 0.008 into 10 raised to minus 57. Yeah, so now still we have not completed a step. We have some more steps here. Now what I'm going to do is, now this is a decimal point over here. I'm just going to shift to the right side. So this is 1, 2, 3. I'll shift to this position. I'll get 8.0 into. Okay, how many positions we have shifted the decimal point? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 10 raised to, what is the power? Is it plus 3 or minus 3? Minus 3. Very good. Why minus 3? Because we are moving to the right side. So 10 raised to minus 3 into 10 raised to minus 57. So I get 8.0 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 10 raised to minus 57. I just want you people to take down the division also, because the division is different. Yes, you have many zeros over here. Do this calculation and take down the step also. So we have one more step, children. We have not completed the answer. One more step is there. Okay, so what I have, 8.0 into 10 raised to minus 3 into 10 raised to minus 57. Now this is a raised to m into a raised to n. What is the law for a raised to m into a raised to n? You are going to add the power. A raised to m into a raised to n. You have a form of a raised to m into a raised to n. So the answer is a raised to m plus n. That means, what do you get here? 10 raised to minus 3, and this is minus 57, because plus, when you have plus, there is no need to worry about the sign. You have to take the sign. So minus 3 minus 57. So it's 10 raised to minus 60. Minus minus plus. So 3 plus 57, 60. Sign of the bigger number, minus. Remember children, whenever you do the calculation for integers, you have to be very careful. And this is not a new thing. You have been learning from your 6th standard. Yes, you started learning integers from your 6th standard. So you should be thorough with all the concepts. So minus minus is plus. You have to add these two values. You get 60. Sign of the bigger number. What is the sign of the bigger number? It's minus. I get here minus 60. So 10 raised to minus 60 is the answer. Let me write the final answer here. It's 8.0 into 10 raised to minus 16. This is the final answer. And on the final answer, it's 8.0 into 10 raised to minus 60. I hope you are clear with the multiplication and division of the numbers, children. Okay, so your homework is to complete the third subpart from question number 3, which is a combination of first and the second subpart. Okay, children, apply both the concepts and complete your third question, third subpart. Clear, children? Are you clear? So here, very important thing is, you should know how to change the numbers in the scientific notation. That is the first thing. After doing that, in some of the cases, you have to apply the law of indices. Already we have written the laws of indices. Yes, children, you can just use the law of indices and you can complete your sum. Very easy. Only the thing is, you have to be very careful. Okay, you have to be very careful and you have to be very, we can say, very attentive. You have to be very attentive. You have to concentrate your whole mind to the sum. You just cannot think of sum and any other thing. When you do a sum, you just think of a sum and complete the sum. Okay. Now, along with question number 3, now the next thing is question number 4 will be a homework. It's very easy thing. You are going to complete question number 4. Yeah. In your homework book. Nobody is going to write on the answers in the textbook. I don't want the answer to be written in the textbook. Listen to me carefully, children. You are going to write down question number 4. You have to write the question and the answer. Question and the answer. Question and the answer. We have 3 questions. So do not miss any numbers, because here you have many set of zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Many zeros are given. So be careful when you write down the question. You write down the question, recheck your question, and then proceed for your answer. So question number 4 is your homework. You have to just write down in the scientific notation. Very simple. One type is you are going to move to the left side, and one is to the right side. So when you move to the left side, write the positive power, and when you move to the right side, take the negative power. That's all. So you are going to complete question number 4 also. In question number 4, all the sums 1, 2 and 3, all the 3 sums will be your homework. Now coming to sum number 5, children, take down question number 5, simplify. Right on the 5th question, first subpart, we are going to simplify the sums now here. Let's do the sum. Stay on sum number 5, the first subpart. What is the first subpart given? 2.75 into 10 raised to 7 plus 1.23 into 10 raised to 8. Yeah. 2.75 into 10 raised to 7 plus 1.23 into 10 raised to 8. So this is your question. We have to simplify this. That's all. We have to simplify this. Let's see how to simplify this sum. Let's start with the answer. So now here, children, very simple. I'll tell you the answer in very easy method. Now here it's 2.75 into 10 raised to 7. Okay, so you are going to write how many tens, how many zeros will come, children? Totally 7 zeros will come. 10 raised to 7 means 7 zeros. See, if 10 raised to 2 means it is 10 tens, that is 100. If you write 10 cube means It is 10 into 10 into 10. So what is the answer? 100. You have to take all the zeros. So I get 1000. If I have 10 raised to 4, so 10 into 10 into 10 into 10. So I get the answer as 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 10,000. So here it is 10 raised to 7. Just see the number when you have 2, 2 0. When you have 3, 3 0. When you have 4, you have 4 zeros. That means this is 10 raised to 7. So how many zeros you have? 7 zeros. Do you agree with this concept? So 10 raised to 7 means 1 and 7 zeros. Now here, I don't want the decimal point. So I am going to remove the decimal point. So how many zeros we have totally? We have 7 zeros. So I am just going to remove this 2 decimal point also. See here, it is 2.75. Okay. I want to remove the decimal point. So by what number I have to multiply? I have to multiply by 100 because 1, 2. How many numbers are there after decimal point? 2 numbers are there. So I have to multiply by 100. If I multiply by 100, see, if I multiply by 100, what will happen? The decimal point will shift to 2 places to the right side. So I get the answer is 275. You're getting my point? When you multiply a number, it's 2.75. I want to remove this decimal point. So how many numbers are there after decimal point? 2 numbers are there. So you have to multiply by 100. So if you multiply by 100, what will happen? The decimal point will shift 2 places to the right side and you will get the answer as 275. Suppose you have 3.8. So by what number I have to multiply? How many numbers are there after decimal point? Only one number. That means I have to multiply by 10. If I multiply by 10, what will happen? The decimal point will shift 1 places to the right and I'll get the answer as 38. Okay. So I'm just going to use this concept. So now here it is 2.75 into 10 raised to 7. So how many numbers, what I have to multiply here by? I have to multiply here by 100. That means how many zeros I need? I need 2 zeros. This is just for your understanding purpose. Okay, a shortcut. So how many zeros I need? 2 zeros. If I multiply by 100, the decimal will go. So 2 zeros I need here. Okay. So from 7, I am going to take 2 zeros. So how many zeros are left now? 5 zeros. Are you getting my point, children? So to make 202.75, that is 2.75, it's not 75, children. You have to always read the number after the decimal point as a single digit number. You have to read it as 2.75. It is not read as 2.75. You have to read it as 2.75. Okay, so I want to remove the decimal point. So I need how many number? What I need? I need to multiply by 100. That is, I need 2 zeros. So what I'm doing? I'm going to borrow 2 zeros from here. Okay, I borrowed 2 zeros from here. From 10 raised to 7, I borrowed 2 zeros. I removed the decimal. So how many zeros are left here now? From 7, I took 2 zeros. Okay, so now how many zeros are left? 5 zeros are left. Just put here 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope you are clear with the step. Easy. Okay, now plus 2.75. I want to remove the decimal point. So if I want to remove the decimal point, I have to multiply by 100. That means I want 2 zeros. So I am just borrowing 2 zeros from 10 raised to 7. So I borrowed 2 zeros and I made it as 275. So how many zeros are left now here? 5. Because from 7 zeros I already borrowed 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros are left. Let me go for the next one. It's 1.23 into 10 raised to 8. Okay, again here, it's 1.23. So how many numbers are there after decimal point? 2 numbers are there after the decimal point. I want to remove the decimal point. So how many zeros I need? 2 zeros. Yeah, so I'm going to take 2 zeros from 10 raised to 8. So I get here 1, 2, 3. 123. So from 10 raised to 8, how many zeros I have taken? 2 zeros. Why I have taken zeros? To remove the decimal point. Okay. So from 8, I took 2 zeros. So how many zeros are left with 8 now? 6. So just put here 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What are the numbers? Be careful with the numbers, children. So I'm just going to add these two numbers. Be careful when you add the numbers. Write down the positions carefully. 2, 7, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me start writing the numbers from the last position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Then 3, 2, 1. Let me add this 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 5, 10, 5, 1. 1, 5, 0, 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So now where is the decimal point actually present? The decimal point is over here. Yes, children? So I'm going to move it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, no need. Yeah, okay, we'll move. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I get the answer as, I'll just write down this is equal to. So answer 1.505 into 10 raised to 8 because we are shifting to the left side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The answer is 1.505 into 10 raised to 8. Okay, clear? Are you clear with this, some children? So we have completed question number 5, the first subpart, and I want you people to complete the second subpart and the third subpart. You have to complete question number 5, the second subpart. Second subpart is subtraction. So just follow the same method and complete the answer. The third subpart is like your fourth, what is that? Third question. We did simplify. Yes, children? Yeah, it's like that only. So you can just multiply you can do the third subpart. I'll just give a hint for the third subpart. Okay, children? And we will be continuing with fourth sum in the next class. Okay, fourth sum is really lengthier sum. I'll be continuing it in the next class. I'll just give a hint for subpart 3. Do not get confused with many things. Whatever we have done today, just do it properly. Okay, have a practice of the sums. Have you taken on these answers, children? Just take on the answers. Completed. Now, I just want you to give the hint for sum number 3. For sum number 2, it's just subtraction. So same manner you have to proceed and you have to complete the answer by taking the difference of it. Now third question is 1.02 into 10 raised to 10 into 1.20 into 10 raised to minus 0. Very simple. It's 1.02 into 10 raised to 10. Multiply these two numbers. Okay, you will get an answer. This and this. A raised to m into a raised to n. Add it. So 10 minus 3, a raised to m plus n. Okay, so m plus n means 10 plus of minus 3 you have. That's 10 raised to 10 plus minus 3. So plus minus you will get here 10 raised to 7. So you multiply this answer. Again try to take the scientific notation and you will get the answer. Are you clear, children? It's very simple. You have to just multiply the numbers and you have to do it. Okay, and children, so with this we're just going to, we have completed question number 5. First sum is already done in the classwork, yes? Second and third I have given you as homework and we will be continuing with one more sum in the next class.